Good evening and welcome to KSC TV News. I'm Adam Urquhart.
And I'm Dorothy England. Thanks for tuning in this evening.
LGBTQA people are gaining more acceptance in society, but they will tell you there are still barriers. That's true even here at Keene State College. I went out recently to find out what's happening on campus to help cross those barriers.
It's like to have barriers to simply being oneself.
I was afraid that people would just automatically assume things.
Anna knew her entire life she was gay, but didn't come out and embrace it until senior year of high school. She described coming out.
It's probably the most incredible yet scariest feeling in the whole entire world.
She came out senior year when she became captain of her hockey team. Helping people like Anna is what Hunter does. Many more individuals are coming forward to embrace their true sexuality and identify as they choose, and KSC supports this. Although a straight individual may never fully understand what it's like to come out or be a part of such a community, continuing conversations like this help bring people together. Accepting is the first step, but discussing will lead to more knowledge of those identifying differently than us. Program Support Assistant for LGBTQ Students, Office of Diversity and Multiculturalism, Hunter Kirshner, says there's no way to be the ideal man or an ideal woman.
People are complex and complicated, and so looking at gender in the way that we've been taught in just these two opposing categories, I think, I don't know, it's so restrictive and for everybody, right? Because there's no way to be the ideal man or an ideal woman.
Opening up to many other categories one can self-identify with allows others to come as they are and feel accepted. KSC student Anna O'Brien says she's embracing her sexuality was probably the most incredible yet scariest feeling in the whole entire world. Kirshner says we all have these preconceived notions that we have learned to associate with these different identities.
We are trying to live up to something that's impossible, instead of just trying to be who we are.
The Office of Diversity and Multiculturalism, OMSS, is a place for students to go for support, mentoring, advocacy, outreach, and more. OMSS offers support and programming for other underrepresented students such as racial minorities and students with disabilities. OMSS is located to the right on the second floor of the Young Student Center. Anna says it is important for all people to be their own person and to feel accepted.
You don't know a person from just looking at them. And I think it's important that everyone is seen as equal, no matter who you are, no matter if you're gay, straight, bi, trans, everyone should just be accepted.
Although the LGBTQ community has taken great strides in recent years, there are still steps to be taken to gain a higher understanding. Adam Urquhart, KSC TV News. That understanding may not ever fully be gained, but learning about others that make up the world around us will provide a more welcoming and accepting atmosphere.
Extra TV reports that Madonna celebrated a portion of her Thanksgiving Day with members of a youth center for homeless LGBTQ people. The LA Forney Center helps individuals who have been rejected by their families for their orientation. Madonna was accompanied by her children, David and Mercy. Later that day, Lady Gaga visited the center to perform an acoustic version of her new song, A Million Reasons. She also reportedly handed out gifts. Both visits were surprises.
KSC alumni are sharing a variety of teaching techniques on campus as part of the Music Education Guest Lecture Series. Lifelong local to the Monadnock region, Denise Lackledad came back to share what she has learned in the field of music education. At least 24 students and faculty turned out for the event called What 35 Years of Teaching Has Taught Me. Lackledad currently teaches music at the middle school level. She delivered the audience with a presentation reflecting on what she's learned while teaching over these last 35 years. The event was geared more toward those majoring in music education. However, other students involved with music may have found it beneficial. She discussed many different techniques she uses in the classroom before the event came to a close just after 3 p.m. A recent study on the pain reliever drug Celebrex shows that earlier assumptions it could cause heart attacks or strokes were wrong. National Public Radio reports that Celebrex usage doesn't pose any increased risk over other commonly used pain relievers. NPR reports that these concerns were based on Celebrex being similar to another drug, Vioxx. Vioxx was taken off the shelves in 2004 for contributing to health issues.
Keene senior citizens are showing that age is just a number. A 1.2-mile race was held September 25th for people 70 and older. The group, who call themselves the Super Seniors, had over 100 members who participated in the event. The race started at Optical Avenue, Keene, New Hampshire, and finished on Appian Way under the arches of Keene State College. Many of the participants walked together while a few ran ahead. Each Super Senior's name was cheered for as they passed the finish line. 75-year-old Lynn Clifford came pounding through in first place. She says she's grateful for the experience.
Every Super Senior comes across that finish line feeling, yes, yes, I did it. And
you can find out more at the KeeneSeniorCenter.org. This year marks the 4th year the Super Seniors have been participating. Again, you can visit their website for more information at KeeneSeniorCenter.org. An injury can be a devastating setback for a student athlete. I went out to report on how a severe back injury impacted Keene State College senior Shelby Aieva. Aieva starts many of her mornings working at KSC's Spalding Gym. She used to spend those early hours practicing on the dive team. Recently, however, an old injury has made a traumatic comeback.
And then this year, the problem started coming back. But I went to the doctor and they figured out that I'm having a really bad muscle spasm, and that muscle spasm has caused me to have scoliosis, and it took the natural curvature out of my lower spine completely out.
Injuries are common for many student athletes, but those injuries typically don't last very long. Aieva's back problems might last for life. Keene State College's Director of Athletics, Christine Kelly, says she's sympathetic to Aieva's situation.
But an injury such as Shelby's, it kind of breaks my heart because I know how passionate she is about diving and wanting to really dive. And sometimes injuries happen that your body just can't sustain. And I would just love for her to still be able to be around the team, maybe help on a coaching aspect of it, because it still gives her that sense of involvement.
Aieva's teammates still consider her a part of the team. KSC student and dive team athlete Dake Driscoll said it's frustrating.
It's a bummer, but I think she should still be trying to work it out, and hopefully she can come back.
The dive team only has 3 members, and with Shelby Aieva out on injury, the team struggles to get those extra points. However, they are still very much supportive and still consider her part of the team. Dorothy England, KSC Broadcast. Student athletes who struggle with injuries are recommended to speak with a coach about it.
That's all for this edition of KSC TV. Thanks for tuning in.
We'll be back next week at this same time. We'll see you then, and have a good evening.